Good morning, traders, and welcome to the live trading webinar with Bruce. So we do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. This is the analysis that is live, forward-looking. It's not hindsight. That meshes with our educational course. So you have the educational course, learn from it, and then apply it here. This is the testing ground. We'll do it in the live market so you can start to trust it, start to believe in it, start to understand how to use order flow. And then we have live trading 2 days a week with a J trader, a stocks trader, Wednesday at 10 a.m. and Scott Pulsini, a futures trader, at Thursday at 10 a.m. We also have in the morning, we have a crypto trader, Rain. He'll be going over a live analysis of the crypto markets. And then we also have Tom B, who will be coming on directly after this webinar at 11:30. So let's go through the disclosures and we'll jump right into the market and take a look. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, good morning, everybody. Let's see. JC Moon, Alano, some new faces in here. Ricky R, and Rob, good morning. All right, that's over in our Discord channel. And then we also have YouTube going here as well. All right, guys, so let's jump in. Let's take a look here. What do we have going here for the week, or the outlook here? Well, yeah, I mean, you can see just around after 9 o'clock here, we have a nice reversal that took place here. You can see that it had been down, the trend here, and then we had quite a bit of buying come in. It started to lift that market. You can see it again here, 9:30 cash open, and then looking for some of these swings here to test up here, maybe up here where it kind of broke down from, or the ultimate swings are up in these areas here from the overnight of what I'm showing here, right up into high liquidity here at 80. Okay, so you know, we're actually talking about this now. We have 4,300, the figure up here as well. And well, at this point in time, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for pullbacks and we're looking for continuation until we see something different in the order flow. Okay, so yeah, just continuing on up here, looking for 85. Now, it's not going to be as simple as that, but we'll go through our analysis here and start to you know, understand who's in control and where they might someone else might take control from the market. But right now, buyers are in control, and they're also down here on the bid around this kind of 73 level, and then also down here around this 68 or 69 level here. All right, so we need to see buyers come in to support this move here. All right, so in fact, we can look at a little bit of market structure in here. And maybe we'll focus on market structure today as one of the themes. But just trying to understand, like, you know, where is it a deal? Where are buyers and sellers lining up? How are they dealing in here? And who's compelled to buy or sell as well, as we know that's an important one. All right, my video camera is not working for some reason. I'm not sure why. It is dead. Anyway, that's that. So we'll figure it out later. All right, well, let's continue on here. All right, so we just drew up some structure here, and it is trending, and we're at a critical point right now in the lower time frame order flow. So they are on the offer up here, okay, at 80, here at 79. And if we get enough sellers in here, yeah, I would anticipate a move right down into this kind of 73 liquidity we just talked about. Okay, just a test down to it. There is a skew in the book, and we had a video on reading the order book in here on Friday. Let me show you that, and maybe you could, if you guys want to watch it, Okay, if we go to our YouTube channel here, under videos, there's a few different videos that we have here actually. It's this one here on the heat map. Okay, so we can open that in a new tab here, and we're talking about how to read the heat map in here. Okay, so high time frames, low time frames. In fact, we talked about a very high time frame on the heat map on Friday because we had a real big squeeze on Friday, and we talked about today potentially being a move to the upside initially, and then watch out for below. Okay, so another squeeze, try to get people to be buyers in here, and this is what we're talking about in here. Let's take a look. We'll take a big step back and take a look at our candlestick charts, and we're going to look at the candle structure in here. This is on the daily here. Okay, and we got back up above these levels finally, end of the week here, and then the big push on Friday. All right, so now today, and on the way up in here, we noticed a lot of limit orders on the sell side, limit sell orders getting filled, many getting filled on the way up here. So starting to look for kind of cracks in the order flow by the aggressors in here, and also on the limit sell side. Okay, we don't see it yet. In fact, this is very typical. Like we see the continuation of this, but we're waiting and watching for a higher time frame order flow event here. And right now, it's simply still to the upside. The higher time frame event is we'll notice it. We'll see a real shift here, and we'll see maybe the news start to get bearish or something will kind of trigger this. And instead of big green dots like this pulling the market up, we're going to see big red dots, and it will be tearing the market down. All right, so when we'll be looking for that shift. All right, so that's a kind of higher time frame, and let's take a step back again and look at what do we have going on here. What do we know? We talked about something that was kind of speculative there in the heat map on the way up on Friday. So if we look at it here today, well, I mean, we're still clearly in an uptrend, no doubt. We're above these swings in here on strong volume, everything looking good. The hourly chart also pretty strong. Okay, there's no real reason here in the structure. We're still making higher highs and higher lows by a long shot. All right, now what we did mark up on Friday was this dotted white line here, and that was the 42.50 area, and all of those limit sell orders that we saw getting filled were above 42.50. So this is really it could be a really big zone in here. We might bash around in here for a while, but this is where we're kind of looking for that shift in the market here. Okay, below that figure here, because of what we saw on Friday in the heat map. And why I'm bringing this up here is just keep this in mind for your higher time frame outlook. Okay, because we know it, we know for a fact that there was just a ton of limit sell orders getting filled. All right, so we don't see a change yet in the higher time frame order flow, but when we do, that's when we really want to pay attention. Okay, so enough said on that. Let's we're still bullish in here for today, and until we see something different. All right, so let's take a look here. All right, so we're breaking this trend. We're starting to see something a little different. You can see the sellers starting to come in here, and yeah, let's just start to mark up some areas here. Here's where we had a swing pivot, buyers above, retest here, buyers above. All right, let's mark that area up right here. Okay, so around this 42.71 or 70 level, we really want to pay attention here. Okay, on this time frame, on this lower time frame. Okay, because we see the sellers come in. Okay, so we're gonna, I think from the webinars and the questions that we've been getting, the trying to understand who's in control. We covered this in one of the topics with the live order flow. And we'll continue on, I think, with that discussion. And then maybe look at some candlesticks, but it's market structure and who's in control in that market structure. And we can start with a higher time frame or lower time frame. It's kind of whatever is clearest, I think. So let me get to some questions here, and then we'll kind of figure out which direction we want to go with that. What do I mean by the figure? Okay, so the round numbers, 4250. Big figures are the 4300, 4200, etc. Right. And guys, for those of you attending, this in this webinar here, we're not specifically dedicated here to the ES. Just want to mention that. We'll look at anything in here. Most people want to look at the ES, so we just stay there. But we have some stocks that you can take a look at in here. We have cryptocurrencies, etc. In fact, let me yeah, I don't think I can add a cryptocurrency at the moment. Yeah, anyway, yeah, we can look at just basically anything. All right, so Tom B in the afternoon, he's going to be looking at just the ES, okay, and volume profile. All right, and hi Phil, good morning. Yeah, I had a great weekend, thank you. Could also check out the top stocks, Apple, Meta, okay, Amazon. Yeah, so I have a bunch of them up here already. So let's take a look at Apple. Okay, and maybe we'll start here. Who's in control? And Phil, we'll just kind of leave it at that, and just look for higher highs or higher lows or etc. in the market structure. Now, who's in control here? Well, buyers are. Okay, we see a big sell dot at the open, but buyers above it into high liquidity, pull back to that open, supported. Okay, actually not much in the book here, but it came back down into this area here, and we're still accepting above it, and we made a higher high here. We're getting a pullback now. Okay, so yeah, I would be looking for the pullbacks are pretty deep in here. Okay, the breakouts are very shallow here, so I would be looking for the pullback maybe down into this 7150. Okay, this liquidity in here. All right, so and you can start to mark up your structure as well in here. Okay, same ideas. Just looking at where the price structure is going, the price action, and then we want to understand the volume within that structure, and we want to understand the liquidity within that structure. Okay, these three elements here on the Bookmap chart. So it's pretty back and forth in here, yeah, I would look for this structure to hold until we see something different. Okay, so we might spike down into this liquidity here and then spike back up, and go through the different scenarios here. We can quickly look at Amazon. Amazon is selling off pretty hard right now, or hard enough, into high liquidity here, here, and here. Okay, at 42, 41, or 41.50. Okay, 41's a bit lower here. Yeah, and same thoughts, same ideas. Could get a pullback up to this kind of 42.50-ish area where it dropped from, but I don't see the buyers yet. Okay, it's a little bit trickling in right now. Again, look at some structure in here. Anyway, let's just cover the who's in control, and we'll go through that exercise. Here you see the sellers come in. Here you see the sellers come in. Here, here, here. This is where it initiated, and they are just in control until we see something different than that. All right, so Apple, same concept here. It's just not quite as easy a read. Buyers in control. Not much buying, but they are still kind of in control, and the move in here up to here. That's why we get a pullback to that area. This move here, yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like there's a move. We see buying on it. It's just not that strong. It's just not that strong. In fact, there's quite a bit of selling in here. Okay, so that's what we see on these time frames. Now, this is where we see it starting to shift, though. See the shift, see the volume. Sellers, sellers, sellers. So here's a retest here. Now this would be maybe a shorter time frame possibility here, or opportunity, and this is not a trade recommendation, but just a retest back down to here. Okay, see if you can get sellers to come in again. This is like a pullback here, and looking for sellers to maybe retest back down here, okay, due to sellers being in control. All right, so here's liquidity that's coming in. We talked about this on Friday with the heat map. You see the heat map here starting to light up on the offer, and we're starting to find our sellers here. All right, so buyers aren't really interested in this liquidity up here, so we're looking for sellers to trade it back down to here. Okay, so very, very simple things in here by understanding this heat map and who's in control. Let's see, Rudy, what are you talking about here? Doesn't mention the period used to show what you're looking at for liquidity. Oh, there is no period here. If that's what you're talking about, this is one of the actually one of the I think it's a huge benefit within Bookmap. There is no time frame here. This is pure price action. If you want to look at a specific time frame, well, we're looking at like 5 minutes here between each vertical dotted line. If I zoom out more, that's going to change. Now it's 15 minutes, and that can kind of divvy up your day. You can overlay a candlestick chart in here, and you can put in different time frames. You right click on it, or you can go up here and then go to your candlestick here, and you can put different time frames in here. All right, so here's a 5-minute candlestick chart. Right, but here's the problem with the looking at time frames like this. This is aggregated data within a period here, and you can't see the nuances. Right, you don't know, like was there was a little consolidation period here and then it broke. You don't see that in the candlestick chart. You just see this period ends, another period begins, and it continues to the downside. All right, so this is we've always displayed it like this, and I know that can be a little confusing. If you want, we do have a time slice tool here. I never use it except for to demo the product, and what it does is it puts, like, let's say you want to look at 30 minutes. Now there's 5 minutes between each vertical dotted line. However, I'm looking at 30 minutes total on my screen here. Okay, from the left, it's a sliding 30 minutes, which means that it's a constant 30 minutes always. There is no like abruptness here to it. It continues to slide at a pace here that always puts 30 minutes within my chart range. Maybe you want to relate that to your 15-minute chart or whatever, but typically, like at least I like to zoom in. I like to see what's going on in some of the order flow in here, zoom back out. I already know I have context here of understanding the swing, etc. On my candlestick chart. Okay, so that answers that question. So all right, so we're back to who's in control and starting to understand that. Sellers still in control here in Amazon. Nvidia, sellers in control, right? Pretty clear there. Here and here. All right, so what about buyers? Well, they came and took it to the upside in here, so they are being tested now, and love to see the sellers try to take it down into this 186 here. Okay, probably going to get a pullback here. You can see it coming in already. Might come back up to test the control from these sellers in here. All right, is that any kind of questions on this? We're just going over a concept in here to understand in the order flow who's driving the market, and it's pretty clear sellers are. sellers are. All right, so we look for pullbacks. Pullback would be here. We have a swing here, but it's not just because of the swing. It's because there's high liquidity here that transacted. We'd be looking for a pullback there. Also up here, where the sellers dropped this very quickly, we'd be looking for a pullback up to here too. Okay, so if we get enough buyers in here and a pullback up to here, they'll be testing these sellers. And then we'll look at the volume dots in here. Who has more power in here, or more transactions? And we'll kind of look at sellers remaining in control. We kind of curl around in here and see more sellers come in and move this to the downside. All right, Noel, you're missing the ES commentary. Yeah, I just wanted to cover this here pretty quickly. So we went through a few different examples in this concept in here about who's in control. So let's jump back to the S&P. All right, well, we made it through this 70 level. It's kind of interesting. And let's take a look here at the next level down, which we've already tested. And the next level down below that would be here. And then we're at basically 9:30 cash open here. All right, so let's take a look again at the, go through that same exercise of looking at who's moving the market. Buyers, 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 buyers. Okay, sellers come in and they drive it lower here, and they're below that swing here where the buyers were in control up here. Okay, now sellers on the downside here, sellers on the downside here. I know this is very simple and rudimentary, but we want to understand, though, the relationship between these areas in here in the order flow. Okay, so for example, right now, although we see the selling coming in here, it's not that strong. And we're starting to see quite a bit of buying in here. And look at this pattern in here. This is a double bottom. So I would look for the buyers to retest back up to 70, and maybe they can get back up to 72 here, just based on the relationship of the volume within this little structure here. And in a double bottom pattern, you get lots of sellers here, you have some buyers here, retest, very little selling here. Okay, and more buyers up here again. Okay, so what we look for then is a retest back up to here and more buyers. And here they go, there they are. Now they should be able to lift this. Okay, back up not just to 70, but maybe they can get to 72 here. All right, so that's what we're kind of reading in here. More buying, and we can look at the dots, we can look at the bars down here, and you can see quite a bit of buying starting to come in. All right, now if for this to break here, we got to get a lot of buyers up here, and then to move up into probably the 72 area here. High liquidity there. So now we just looked at in the structure, the volume pressures within this structure, but the next thing we want to do and we want to understand is the heat map. Okay, who's on the other side of that trade? If all of a sudden we're looking for the move up here, but we turn this on and we look in the heat map and you just see a massive wall of liquidity here, wow, likely there's not going to be enough buyers to trade through it. So that's why we're looking, they're just pulling in here, and we're looking for, now that we have this on, we can see that they're not really here. So there's our test in the 70, still looking for it to go higher. And let's see if we can get a bit more buying in here, and you can see what's happening. So this just threw us off here. Okay, we had high liquidity come in at 70, and what is the reaction to it? We found some sellers. Okay, so this completely disrupts what we're looking at. Okay, so we get a pullback here, and now I'm kind of curious. Okay, in the order flow here, are we going to have these sellers come back down and retest our swing low here due to this liquidity that came in and skewed the auction in here? And that seems to be the case here. That's what's happening. Okay. And back kind of down to this range. Again, how much selling was in here? Not a whole lot. So that's the context and relationship within this range here. How much selling? All right, let's look at this here. See the bid coming in, and we're getting buyers. Now they'll take these guys on here. Likely they'll trade into them and through them, or this guy's going to pull, and then we can get our pop up into 72. Okay, so we're still seeing more buying pressure than we are sellers. Okay, and now look at they're adding more in here. Now these guys just transacted at 70. Okay, now look at them flip on the bid here. Okay, from offer to bid. All right, looking for more buyers and looking for the move up into 72 now. Okay, very, very simple analysis here, but understanding the auction. Okay, we talked about on Friday about reading the heat map in here too, about understanding balance in the heat map. Okay, in the order book. This is a pretty important point that we're looking for in here is where do we have balance or imbalance in the order book. A lot of times you'll see the order book very, very balanced. In fact, we can go through, and I didn't demo this on Friday, I should have. We'll add a new column in here. Okay, and we're going to filter this column. It's another cumulative, current order book column, and we're going to aggregate the data. Okay, which means it takes one price level here with the limit sell orders, adds it to the next, adds it to the next, adds it to the next. So that's why it increases in value here. Okay, same on the bid here, adds it to the next, etc. And we're going to also limit it. We're going to unclick or deselect the extended, and we're going to select a width here, or depth, I'm sorry. And yeah, we can put in 10. Now the white number above here is an aggregation. Okay, so this is 10 levels, and then you see, and this is how the some of the old or data providers out there that are only providing 10 levels, so you might have that view in here, but we're trying to look at like the imbalances in here, right? So here you can see a little bit of an imbalance. It's pretty balanced though. We can make this smaller and look at an inside market and look at maybe 5 levels and look for that imbalance in here. This is more of a kind of market making type of imbalance in here. Okay, so yeah, there we go into high liquidity up here. All right, and then balance in here. Okay, now we have high liquidity here and down here. All right, so let's see if we can get a pullback to here, just to seek balance. All right, now look at high liquidity in here, kind of looking at a midpoint in here. And the order book is dynamic, of course, and it's shifting and changing. So these shifts and changes in here kind of disrupt that balance. Okay, now we're seeking balance to the downside. Okay, and yeah, it would right around here would be it, but let's see if these guys maybe pull. They're not. This guy's pulling. Boy, there's an imbalance on the bid here. All right, so we should be able to get buyers up into 78 now. Here again, another imbalance in here. So yeah, 78 looks really good because here would be kind of the midpoint here between it's kind of 75 and then 80 up here. Bouncing off of this, or no, transacting. Okay, still looking for it though. Up to 78. Okay, anyway, a lot of naive market making algos are reading this. A lot of stat arb algos are reading this. They're reading the order book and they want to understand the pressures and dynamics and look for an imbalance and an opportunity. Yeah, we'll take a look at some stops and icebergs here, Nick, in just a minute. How do you set up CVD? Yeah, CVD is in the subchart here, but you can get it all the settings. Click on the studies configuration and then cumulative volume delta here. I have it on default, so it's just very, very simple. It's on session range, and yeah, we'll maybe cover CVD another time. I can show you where the video is on it though. On our YouTube channel. And what we'll do here is we'll go to playlists, okay, and we'll go down to features and components here, view the full playlist, click on that, and then look for cumulative volume delta in here. It's only like 5 minutes long, but it goes through it. We can look for it here. Search cumulative volume delta. It's this video here. Okay, so you'll see it in there, and it goes through all the different settings. Okay, still waiting to get up to 78 here. We do have an imbalance in the order book here. Looks good though. This would be a good target here, 78 still. Just a few more buyers up here. Nope, can't get them. There we go. Now they pull a little bit here. Still looking for it though. Bert, you like that the COB column like this? Yeah, be careful with it though. I mean, like you know, it's to demonstrate this point. See how this just disrupts everything here, and you know, you wonder why. Like, what happened? What all of a sudden happened in price here? Well, it's this guy. This guy did that. He really did. He bullied the book here. If you guys play poker or something like that, someone bullies the pot. This is it. Totally disrupted it. So now sellers coming in, it is seeking that that balance to the downside now after this. Okay, we traded it. All right, let's see a pullback right to this, then right to where it just dropped from, 74 and a quarter. Anyway, just keep it in mind, and also keep it in mind on much higher time frames. We'll see it, you know, right now. What are we doing? We'll see it better on stocks than we would here in the futures. This is much more speculative. And arbitrage. There's so many different players in here, but you know, high liquidity down here, high liquidity up here. We're kind of right in the middle. And let's take a look at Apple, for example, again. All right, and let's take the candlesticks off the chart. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's balance is somewhere around here, right in the middle, 72 and 20 cents. Okay, so this is kind of playing a little nicer so far, and it's just right in the middle here. Wait until you see some sort of imbalance in here to give you an edge. Okay, so we're kind of back into the middle. Okay, you can now another way to look at this too, and look, there's so many different ways. We're feature rich. We have many different things to look at in here. So you know, we're covering one element in here. If this resonates with you, great. If it doesn't, then that's fine. But we'll cover many different things in here. All right, one thing, well, this imbalance in here, but look for maybe also talking about, we're talking about balance and imbalance in the order book here, but you can also do the same thing with your profiles in here, with your volume profiles. Okay, where is balance? Well, it's right in the middle here, right here. So it's at this kind of 70, well, let's take a look here. 172.12 or so, right? This is your high volume node. Okay, where is it out of balance? Well, up in these areas, up in here, or down in these areas here. Okay, that's how you get your responsive sellers, your responsive buyers trading it back into the range. Okay, same concepts. So you can even add those two together to try to get an edge. All right, so okay, now if we're starting to see buyers and they're going to go for the 72.50 up here, okay, first off, we need to see quite a few, right? And we have to pull away from this area here, right? So what are we looking for then? One of the scenarios we'd be looking for is maybe this liquidity down here to pull and add up here. If they do that and we find buyers in here, then, you know, likely to the top of the range here, kind of in the middle and the balance in here. What about up here? Well, that looks pretty good. That was a high, kind of a high volume node or higher volume node up here at this top of the range here, right? So we'd be looking for that scenario to help us get an edge here. Okay, so let's see if we get some sort of imbalance in here. Let me get rid of the drawings here. Okay, because we know what we're looking for. And now we're looking for a little bit of a push here in the order book, and we're not getting it right now. Okay, we see a little bit here, but we want to see a little bit higher, and we don't want to see liquidity up in here. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, volume profile traders, does that make sense? If you, anyone watching that trades volume profile? So we're talking about balance and imbalance for both the volume as well as the order book, the liquidity, volume and liquidity, and trying to put those two together here to get an enhanced edge. All right, let me see. Anyone in Discord? Makes sense. Okay, I'm so bad. Well, you know, look for it. And this is something to, it's just some ideas in here to study, to add to your studies. Like, we're always looking for edge, always. That's the goal. Develop an edge. We don't want to be gamblers. We want an edge. Okay, we want a numerical edge in here. Look at you know, Scott Pulcini or J Trader especially. He knows exactly what he's looking for. He has percentages. And you know, he goes with them. If it doesn't work out the way he wants it, he cuts the trade. As simple as that. If it does work out, he knows where he's getting out in specific areas and adding back in. As simple as that. And it takes a long time to get to that kind of simplicity and clarity. All right, let's take a look here again. Questions that you guys may have. All right, so a lot of questions here in YouTube. Hold on a minute. Rudy, did I answer your question? Okay, what is the default setting for the screen? The default setting, so I'm not really using I'm using mostly defaults from Bookmap in here. So in terms of my time frame in here, like I said, I do not look at a time frame. I just kind of zoom in and out and look at the ranges in here exactly what we're covering in here. I know this is 9:30 over here, and I understand like 10 o'clock is here. I don't really care though. I'm looking at what's happening in here to give me some insight. Now here's our move back up into this kind of 172.50, but we really didn't get what we were looking for in terms of, this is just aggressors. We don't see that imbalance. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. They came in here with higher liquidity on the offer here, and we didn't get any kind of push from the order book in here. All right, so now that means sellers can take it right back down into the middle here, back into our kind of 172.12 area or so. Yeah, I guess down here. All right, it kind of explored this edge here, didn't even trade it. Maybe we try to get back down here below these buyers here. Or we can also look for that same scenario, but now up here at the top of the range. Okay, again, look for that imbalance in here. Okay, we don't know when that's going to happen, but we know when we're going to have some sort of edge in here. Okay, and like, for example, maybe you just wouldn't take this here if you don't see that order book in here starting to help you. Okay, if we see the order book help us here, and maybe they pull up here, and we find buyers based on that, great. We're looking for 172.50. Right now, this is just mostly all about the aggressor. They just moved it higher and then kind of petered out up here. Not enough pressure. Okay. So yeah, we covered this in here with the order book on Friday, but it's just one element to take a look at. I'm looking for it to happen. It happens all the time, so we're looking for it in here. Now it's really set up nicely for that imbalance. If we can just see a little more high liquidity right underneath here. We do see some here at 25, but I want to see more. Okay, even more sellers in here, but once we get back up here, these sellers they're gonna be buyers back up into 172.50. Okay, another scenario, these guys pull at 172.20. And then we're right back into that our 12 level here. Okay, that's another scenario to take a look at. All right. Okay, I think we were looking for our buyers in here, right? I think we left off in here and looking for 172. Yeah, we're looking for 170. I'm sorry, 42.70 and then 42.72. 42.72 has been kind of a pivot point, as you can see, and there's buyers above it. So here it is. Here we have our structure here and a structure here now. Why 78? Well, we had liquidity here and kind of top of the range in here. We were looking at it in here, right? And it was liquidity up in here. If we got that imbalance and that kind of push. See how they kind of flipped here? They're on the bid at this higher level here. Okay, so buyers, aggressors came in, created a new level here, and then we see quite a bit of selling on both legs here. So it's really back and forth in here. In fact, let's study here, because if we get enough sellers in here, we're going to come right back down into this range. Okay, so buyers got to step in now, and there's quite a bit of selling here. So yeah, I'm kind of looking for sellers to push it down and back to 70 here, to be honest. It's just not enough buying pressure yet. Okay, so here's again kind of going on with that theme here about in this range, who's in control, right? We see quite a bit of buying, but quite a bit of selling, a little bit of buying here, but quite a bit of selling here, right? So again, then we're looking for, why not, have them break it and come back down to 70. And if they can continue on through, then we're looking for 66. Okay, bottom of the range down here, 67. All right, so again, understanding the volume context in here within this range. Okay, 70 is already transacting. So that was an easy 2 points here. Now, all right, so now let's suppose that you're not just scalping here, and we're going through these lower time frames as mentioned, like just to demo how to read. But let's suppose you're a higher time frame trader. Okay, well maybe you took some off there, or maybe you're just like, okay, I see this opportunity here, I'm in, my stop's up above here. Maybe I'll move it down and even exit the trade if I see buyers come in. However, the higher time frame outlook would be a move down to here, and then maybe you take some off. Okay, so you'd be looking for a move from 72 down to about 66 here, and maybe that's if you are kind of looking at a higher time frame, you just stay in it, and you're looking for the move all the way back down to where it opened here at 930. Okay, so different ways to trade or slice and dice it in here, but we're going to read the order flow on all time frames. Thanks, Stock Sniper. Excellent, good to see you guys in here. Yeah. So we're going to cover a lot of different things in here, and yeah, the Stock Sniper guys, they're going to be part of a lot of the webinars, etc. Moving forward. So some events with these guys, great guys, great traders. Looking forward to working with them. So you guys might want to jump over and check them out and take a look and see what they're doing. All right, so they're looking at futures, stocks, and I think some crypto as well. Uriel, would you please show how to get the S&P E-mini? Well, okay, so Bookmap is a platform. We're not a data provider. So you'll need to subscribe to Bookmap, then you'll need to subscribe to some sort of data provider that we support. Okay, so let me show you that here. If we go to bookmap.com, right, and then you click here, connectivity. Okay, it'll scroll you down the page, basically the main page here, and then connectivity here. We connect to all of these for futures in here. We connect to all of these here for stocks. And now actually trade data only for TradeStation and interactive brokers, which what that means is you're not going to get data from TradeStation. You'll still need to get it from DXFeed or OmniFeed. Quote Media is for the Canadian and London exchange, and Cedros for Brazilian exchange. Right, so for the US, DXFeed or OmniFeed, and different packages involved with it. It's kind of complex with stocks. However, you can connect and route your trades to a TradeStation and interactive brokers account. Right, you crypto guys out there, there's 21 different exchanges in here supported, so you should be able to find something that works for you. Okay, let's see. We do connect to the API of Ninja. Reach out to support on that. I know it is depreciated. Yeah, I'm not sure the details on it, but I know it does connect to it. So you might want to look into that. In using eSignal to run, doesn't matter what you're running your Ninja on. Bookmap connects to the API of Ninja. All right. And then your eSignal, I don't know what that data looks like. It's been a while since I've even had a request for eSignal. They used to be the king back in the day. We like rhythmic data for futures. Okay, very high quality data that also shows stops and icebergs. All right, guys, well, let's take a look at this smaller move in here, right? We're still kind of, we never got down to 66 or 67 here yet. Just kind of the middle of this little cluster in here, this range in here. Now, here comes some selling. Look at the order book. Look at the selling. Great. Let's see the move to 68. Okay, 68 and a quarter here. Looking for sellers to bring it down here. Okay, we have an order book imbalance. We're finding some sellers. Looking for them to continue down to here. Okay, they're offering lower, okay, and they're pulling here as well. So there's a bit of a skew here in the order book as well. So still looking for bottom of the range here, 68.5, 68. Okay, here we're still seeing, look at the skew here. Okay, now these guys actually were taken on by the buyers. So we got a little bit of a battle starting to unfold there. Okay, high liquidity in here, and the buyers took them on. Okay, so that's disruptive, right, to what we were just looking at. Okay, and now we're in the middle of these two areas of high liquidity. Okay, I want to see this guy's pull here at the 69 3/4, and let's find our sellers and try to get back down again to the 68.5 or our 66 level here. Here we go. Okay, this is a good area here as well, the 68. And just nothing. Here we go. All right, sellers, let's see it. Okay, there's 68. Still looking for more. Order book wise, you can see these guys pulled. Okay, so you know, our imbalance in here is kind of on, you know, the very short time frame in here. Okay, so bottom edge would be, or you know, bottom of this range in here, still 66 right here. Oh, I'm sorry, 66 here, bottom of this range here. Another thing, did you guys, many of you have read, good morning, David. How much for a month? Look on the website, Uriel, but depends on what plan you want. It can be $49 a month, or it could be $99 a month. If you're a crypto trader, I think it's like 20 bucks a month. And the data is free too for crypto, so that's also something to consider. Green trades. Okay, so you're new in here. Welcome to our Discord. You're looking at the NQ. We can jump over and take a look here. The NQ. Okay, there was a request also in the questions to look at some stops and icebergs, so we will. But again, guys, very, very simply, just looking in here to try to understand, like, you know, who's driving the market, right? And we see the it's kind of back and forth in here on the NQ, but sellers, there's more sellers than there are buyers, but the buyers are fighting it here, right? And again, they're just fighting it right now here, so back probably to the top of this range, and they may be able to break it and then test back up into here. Okay, back up into 85 here. Has just a barrage of buying just came in right now. Let's see if the order book flips, and yeah, see how it flipped here on the offer, now on the bid, finding buyers. All right, if that's the case, then buyers should be able to move it, okay, back to the top of this range, which we're just about there, and then maybe they can get back up to this one up here. So more like 80, not, I kind of did that quickly, so more like 80. And let's read the order book. I love the Nasdaq. I kind of prefer it. We see these things happen and it moves. S&P happens and it kind of goes back and forth. It happens, it kind of goes back and forth, and then finally we get the move here. They're staying in the book here so far, down at 60, 61, and there we go. All right, they were tested and they did get filled here. Okay, all the way back down here. And let's see if the buyers still come in, though, because this is where they came in earlier. We're just down at the bottom of the range here. And not looking good for the buyers. Not looking good. Yeah, that was a misread on that one. So back to the top of the range here, but that was it. And this is, I will mention something here. You know, we were looking for just the top of the range, somewhere around in here when we found those buyers come in. And I like to reduce risk in some of those areas. Okay, or if I see that selling come in, then, you know, I get out and I take a small loss, or a break even. Okay, but always taking some off. You know, you kick yourself when it just goes straight up to 80, or, you know, hits this, maybe pulls back a little bit and then goes right back up to 80. It's up to you. It's up to the trading style that works best for you. Yeah, this is summation here in the SI indicator, stops and icebergs. I like this reading or setting. I like my the axes here do not line up. Okay, they're different for each, for stops and different for icebergs. But I'm looking at the context between the two, so I know there are a lot more icebergs in here compared to stops right in here. Okay, here's our icebergs right in here, 45. Okay, we're back to the top of the range, guys, and we're back to that same story again, back to into this 80 here. Okay, this is kind of surprising, but because there's a lot of selling that came in here after we're reading that buying, and that's a lot of selling and not a whole lot of stops. Here's our skew. See the skew here in the order book and finding buyers. All right, here we go. Let's see, they're already up here. They should be able to break it then, and we should get to this 80 level here. Okay, higher liquidity. So we got to break it. It's just kind of doing it here. All right, let's see it again. Skew in the order book, buyers, maybe 77, but 80 is up above it here. Here we go again. See the skew? Okay, where's the balance? It's very dynamic. They are, look at them support it here. So see if we can get those buyers pulling here. No, not yet. All right, well, let's take a look at some of the stops and icebergs in here as well. Okay, here we go. Now, and before that, I alluded to something else. I mentioned the what was it? Oh yeah, reminiscence of a stock operator. And this applies precisely to this in here. Okay, now there was a few pages in there about this one incredible, and Jesse Livermore, or the author, mentions that this is one of the best traders they ever seen, and no one really knows because nothing's documented. It was the best trader he had seen, and someone came in after the with a stock tip after something had happened. And he went right up to him and he said, so-and-so is buying this stock. And they're buying it heavily. And the first action he did was said, run to the floor and sell, 500, shares, or 1,500 or whatever it was, like one after another. And he would read the tape. So someone ran in, made the orders or the transactions. He's reading the tape. He saw the absorption. He saw that, yes, indeed, they were buying the stock. And the guy who came in and gave the tip said, no, I told you you should be buying. And it's like he went to verify it. He saw the absorption, and then therefore he's looking for the move. So he turned around, he closed the position, and he started to buy heavily. All right, same ideas in here. You'll see like the transactions taking place, but also the order book and the relationship of the order book in here. You'll see algos, traders, that they're testing it, the volume, the pressures here, the appetite of aggressors in here by showing high liquidity in here, flashing it. Okay, there's also spoofing. They'll flash it. Okay, well, now here's an imbalance here. All right, well, can it trade up to 66? Here's an imbalance in here. They're pulling here. Can it trade to 68? Here's another imbalance. All right, so now we're talking 70, 71. Are we finding enough buyers? Not really, but let's see if they come in. They may, or it may, if we don't, may come right back down into this area in here, and these guys might pull. Right now, we're right in the middle of it. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we get another kind of move here, imbalance in the order book. Nothing. It's still kind of climbing up there, but let's see, looking for that imbalance, starting to pull a little bit. No, not getting much. All right, aggressors coming in, pulling here, adding here. Let's see this little add right in there too. It's very faint, but it's there. But let's see if they add more. Not really. Okay, coming back up. Let's see if they add more. Around here, right around in here. Not really. Kind of hard to see that. This is really about the aggressor in this case. One thing you have to be kind of careful with when just the aggressor moves price is the pullbacks can be pretty severe. So be careful about that. Because it's just the aggressor moving, and that all of this area is dark in here, and the sellers can fill this in pretty quickly. Okay, so we got to the 80 level, and this is exactly what we're just talking about. The aggressors, like, we didn't see too much support. We got a little bit of a bump here, and in the order book, but it's all aggressor. So sellers come in and now they're pounding it. Okay, looking for them to pound it further here. Pulling here, 60, great. Let's hit 55. Let's hit 550 or 48 down here. Got to see. I want to see these guys pull here at 60. There we or transact like that. Great. There they go. Okay. Now they're coming in at 55. I want to see them pull. They're pulling. Great. All right. Let's get down a little bit lower. Uriel, if you're looking for the E-mini only, that's great. Like or the S&P or the Nasdaq or Russell. So just get the CME package and you'll save like $50 basically. I think it's like $40, $37, something like that for Rhythmic only or for DX feed only. I would recommend Rhythmic to get the MBO data. You might want to study this later with the Stops and Icebergs. Oh yeah, Corey, about the reading the S&P compared to single stocks. Absolutely, S&P is a very complex instrument. It is heavily hedged and arbitraged, and and you see that there's liquidity very close to the market. It's hard to read. S&P E-mini is much easier, I believe. But you can also look at these single stocks though, right? So where do we leave off? Like for example, in an Amazon here or Apple. Okay, we were talking about the 7250, came pretty close. That was it though. And then it went down and traded into here. Okay, so and then also went back to 72 here. Okay, there is a bit of a skew here on the at least the sell side. And would want to see sellers below this though here. See how they can be squeezed if we look at this cluster of volume in here. And there's buyers now, not a lot up here, right? And again, look at the selling coming in here. Okay, well, what does that mean? If we can get back up here and we get buyers, then all of these guys are short and they're going to get squeezed, and likely we'd be looking for a move back up into some of these swings, maybe here, or this liquidity up here at our 7250. Okay, and we look for that scenario to unfold. What will it look like? Let's just kind of outline it a little bit. Well, we already have liquidity here. That's good. Would be more would be better. Would love to see these guys kind of pull maybe some of that, and then we'd be looking for our big green dots up in this area here, and here, and here, and then the squeeze is on at that point, and then looking just for the move, probably, you know, up into here. All right, so that's what we'd be looking for, and that scenario is not playing out right now. Okay, let's go over the next one. All right, so now we got sellers coming in. Okay, so looking for sellers down here to be able to break the range and trade down to 171.50. Let's see it, sellers. Let's see it. So we're open to this scenario here. It's not unfolding, so we're looking at the next one that's more likely now, because we're finding the sellers now. Let's just read the sellers in here. Is it like this over here? No, it's not. Do we see like an order book skew in here? No, we don't. So we're still looking for it, but it's just not as high probability. We don't have all the pieces lined up here for a stronger move into this 171.50 or higher probability. Let's jump back to our S&P. All right, so we finally got down to our 66 level. It took a while. Okay, now the question is, now what? Well, let's take a look. Okay, so selling is pretty good in here. Pretty good in here. Now, this is where like I get a little leery about the selling here, because we can get the buyers back up above it and back up into 70 here, or maybe even higher. All right. So, and then the squeeze, same with Apple, the squeeze would be on then at that point. Okay, so it's, see how it's opened up here, and these sellers are kind of like, yeah, I don't know about that selling down here at the bottom of the range, you know, looking for that continuation into the 60 liquidity here. BTC is much easier. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, for some reason, and I'm not really sure why, I'm not able to add a symbol at the moment. I would look at it though. No problem. All right, so look at that scenario, guys. The squeeze is on. Let's see it, buyers. First one would be top of this range, but they should be able to kind of get a little bit above it here. I would look for 70. Okay, now watch for stops too. We had a stop run to the downside here, and now we're looking for kind of a stop run here to the upside too. All it did was get to the top of the range here. Okay. So again, you can start to, you know, for your first leg and, you know, reducing some risk, you can look for taking some off there at the top of the range. Oh, you're welcome, Corey. Thank you. Thanks for the compliment. Yeah, we're here every day. We have multiple traders in here. Stay tuned for Volume Profile Trader in about 15 minutes. We have Tom B. Okay, we have Rain, who comes in at 8:30 a.m. East Coast time, going through the crypto markets. We have Jay Trader, a stocks trader, and Scott Pulcini on Wednesdays and Thursdays respectively. They go through the live market and will take positions, is how they trade. Our goal in here is to go over order flow and how to apply it to any type of trading method, anything. If you're a pattern trader, you're Wyckoff trader looking for distributions. If you're a volume profile trader, we'll cover anything in here in any market. Okay, so that's our goal. So you can apply the order flow read to anything. So let's just go through an example, a quick example. I said we would earlier. Let's look at some candlesticks. Okay, so what are the candlesticks telling us here? Now we'll read the order flow within the candlestick pattern. Okay, right now the candlestick pattern is bearish, no question, right? I mean, we made a lower low. We have some selling pressure on that wick. Okay. And what are we talking about? We're talking about a squeeze on up to top of the range here, or 70, and then maybe it can get back up into the top of this range here. Okay, all right, so then if that's the case, yeah, this is not a bad target here. If you're looking for the buyers to come in and trade to the top of the candlestick wick, right? Now, what about the candles? But you know, selling pressure, big retracement, but selling pressure. Okay, and it made a lower low here. Okay, and we can even look at, you know, these candles in here. I mean, it came back down. It tested our 66 level. That's what we were looking for earlier. Yeah, you can even look in the candles in here. Now, for the day, it was a move to the upside, but strong selling, not so strong buying in here, followed by, again, some good selling in here. Strong buying right in this area here. So yeah, your candlestick, and your target here for this squeeze and buyers would be probably around 73. Okay, this is not a trade recommendation. This is talking about a candlestick strategy and using order flow in here. Okay, it's identifying these guys down here into 66, and then them being trapped in here in the order flow. And you can see how like the candle just doesn't offer that much transparency. But if you're a candlestick pattern reader, this is what you're looking at. And now you have so much more information in here. High liquidity, it fills, buyers above it, get the squeeze on, come back up into the top of the wicks. And if you're a candlestick pattern trader, you'd probably be shorting it in this area in here. Yes, Major Tom. No, I'm not expecting anything to happen. I'm not trying to cover anything here, any actions or anything that I said. What we did note on Friday was the move higher into very high liquidity all afternoon long. And it was notable that they were staying on the offer and they were getting filled. Okay, so then we noted that. So beginning of the week, a lot of times you look for a continuation of that, get people on the hook, and then so many people were short, or maybe they're exiting positions, maybe they're getting short. We don't know that, but due to all of that selling getting filled, yeah, that would be one of the scenarios to look for. And let's just look at our higher time frame in here. Okay, our higher time frame, we marked up our 4250 level here. Now we bounced off it this morning. Okay, I'm surprised we got down there that quickly, but this is the key level here, because we saw so much liquidity filled, just loads on the offer, on the offer, on the offer. So we get down below here, then all of these guys in here are driving the market, all those limit sell orders, and we'd be looking for our aggressors to come in and push it through here. So a lot of market sell orders, and then be looking for some big red candles to reach maybe some of these areas here, be top of this structure here, fill the gap down here, all the way back down. Let's look at the hourly instead. And we can mark up that 4250 in here as well. So, and it's just a scenario. We're waiting for it to kind of unfold, but we noted it, and that's the most important thing I want to mention about that. Okay, there's our 4250. Okay, so we'd be looking for our sellers below that. And we're looking for something in here to tell us as well for the limit sell orders, etc. Okay, guys. Well, here's our move to the top of the range, 73. Right? There's your. I mean, that would have been. It's not a trade recommendation, but that would be your read of the order flow here with your candlestick reading. And I don't know. I mean, would you guys be able to see that with your candlestick? Just your candlesticks? It would look like this. You wouldn't even have best bid and offer. It would look like this. And we can get rid of the drawings just to make it clearer. Okay. Would you be looking for that? And this is, selling pressure. I wouldn't be. And you know, and here we are back up to the top of the range after a squeeze, and we look for a squeeze in here, and we got it. You can see the stop runs in here. And so, and again, this is another add-on indicator in here. Now, the stops and icebergs it's amazing transparency. But what we're looking at in here is the stop transactions and versus iceberg transactions here with the blue line. Okay, so here's our stop run now. This is much better. Okay, above the swing into this kind of swing up here on the candlestick. And there's a nice little pop. Okay, so now, you know, your candlestick trading, maybe now you're looking for maybe back into the range in here, somewhere in here, right? Top of the range, trade back in, you know, mean reversion type of trade. Profile guys, you'd be looking for the move back to about 70 here, 69 or 70, something like that. Okay, now let's look at the order flow though, and let's get a lot more detail here. Okay, well, buyers up here, you know, and we noted the selling and that selling pressure and how they could be upended. Okay, and that played out pretty nicely here. And let's look at the heat map. All right, so what's the heat map showing us? I'm going to dim it just a little bit. Not too much. There's some liquidity up here. It's kind of wishy-washy. They did stay in the order book here and here. It's not bad. All right, sellers, and then let's see you get back to 70 or this kind of 69 figure here, which I like. This is where at the bottom of the range of this small little range here. After a stop run. Okay, not seeing it yet. And our best bid and offer, got to get that. Guys, if you like this video, yeah, hit the like button, please. It's something we do track, we do take a look at, and it helps us gauge the kind of how we want to have these events more or less, or you know, change anything. We look for your suggestions, so any kind of feedback. Yeah, my candlesticks are set to 5 minutes. That is correct, Mike, right now. Still pushing higher. Still pushing higher. I'm kind of surprised, to be honest, due to, I mean, this buying is pretty good and they're kind of leading the market right now. But I'm looking for a pullback here because, you know, there was a lot of selling in here, as we know. And we know these sellers got upended, but yeah, I'm looking for a lack of buying and a pullback in here. The order book to, you know, this looks great here at 70 and a half here as a pullback. I don't really see it. I mean, it may unfold here, but I don't see it at all right now. I'm just surprised it hasn't done it. All right, let's see what else. We can jump over our Nasdaq. Crazy Nasdaq. Boy, not seeing much here in the Nasdaq. Nice cluster of buying up above, countered by a lot of selling. So trying to squeeze the buyers now, and should be successful here. That looks pretty good. This is a hard read in here. Let's go back to default on the heat map though. Trying to get a little more from it. See the strong selling and the pullback right to it. Okay, and then again looking for strong selling back down to here, 82. And that's countered by some strong buying. Yeah, this is just really back and forth in here, guys, because here we noted this is strong. You know, we know that, but look at the strong buying, and they're above these guys now. Okay, buyers should, I mean, these sellers should be squeezed, and it should we would look for the stop run back up into this higher range here. Okay, and at that point, if we get enough, then it's back to 13,600 here, which has been high liquidity in here. It's been in here for a while, for a little while. Okay, so that's how we kind of put some of these scenarios together, and then looking for like this 600 here. Okay, so originally it was strong selling, pullback. Okay, looking for our sellers to take it right back down here. Whoa, buyers came back in, brought it up above these guys. Now it's a flip, and we're looking for 600. All right, we'll go over stops and icebergs another time. Kind of starting to run out of time here. We went through a lot of different things here. We started off with who's in control. We also talked a lot about the heat map and Friday's webinar. I can put the link in here for it, or you can just go to videos on our YouTube channel, hit the video button, and you'll see it in there. We'll do more of that. I don't think it was a great webinar on Friday afternoon. It got the points across, but it's so much better when we see the live demo and it start to kind of unfold there. The one takeaway on that live demo though was the that higher time frame scenario, or a potential. Okay, because I'm really watching that one. If we can get below this 4250 area here, there's just times we've seen it so many times that there's high liquidity on the bid or on the offer, and it just continues to sell, and they continue to add more and more and more and more in. When that happens, and it kind of, it's bewildering, because they continue to buy right into it, and it doesn't. You're looking for it to slow down at a certain point. You're looking for it. Well, there's got to be less buyers now. They're absorbing all of this, or taking the other side of the trade, and that's when you'll see it's kind of a higher time frame read of the limit order book, and then they got huge positions on. A lot of players have huge positions on, and then that's when you start to look for the opposite move. Okay, so that's what Major Tom that I was referring to on Friday. So we'll continue to look for it, but once it starts to kind of turn around, that could be a really powerful move. Okay, and we're just on the outlook for that to unfold. Okay, potentially unfold. Right, we got to say that, because once the scenario looks more likely, we'll see it. Today, like we did say, I think I'm sure I did on Monday, typically look for that move to the upside again, get more people on the hook. Actually stop them out to the downside and get them on the hook here. And then, like today's action. So let's just go through the higher time frame outlook. We look for this to unfold here. Where's most of the volume trading here? Okay, it is here, right? It's in this big cluster here. All right, this is what we're looking for as being upended. So we'd be looking for the sellers down below that area here, around 65, I would say. Okay, and then it's got to come down to the 42.50 here. Okay, so you can look for opportunities if that scenario, if you start to see the sellers start to come in, you can even just trade it down to 42.50, and that could be a high probability trade. Okay, just to test 42.50 again. Right, it doesn't have to break it. You can trade down to it, take some off, and then maybe look for a continuation, and then maybe even add back in short. Right, so lots of different ways to play it, but look for the order flow to support it. That's the main thing. All right, everybody, thanks for coming. We'll catch up tomorrow. I'll have a subject to go through, and we'll see how this is playing out here on that higher time frame. Maybe we'll see some movement here. But stay tuned. You'll be redirected to Tom's volume profile and order flow webinar that's probably already started. So we'll see you guys tomorrow, and have a good day. Okay, take care. Bye bye.